Welcome to
New York City.
Pinstripe Territory.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
All right. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back. I hope you're recovering from what was a pretty fun Saturday night. I have to say, in the words of Ice Cube, it was a good day. I am in an outstanding mood today. I have been all weekend. We've got some callers that are too.
Hey, Derek, good morning. I had to run out to the store. Who else was just in an incredible fucking mood today?
Yeah. Great call there. Yeah, I was in a great mood all day. Listen, we got a lot of calls today that were just like, man, I'm so glad we won. And a lot of calls that were, basically saying, about Juan Soto, pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money.
So in order not to be too redundant, I've kind of chosen a selection of both of those. There weren't a lot of questions. There weren't a lot of critiques. A lot of times during this season when we're doing these voicemail shows, it's because people are in bad moods about something Clay Holmes did or something Aaron Boone did, and they want to issue a critique and talk about a problem. But when you just won the pennant, it's kind of hard to do that. Now, we got some of that. Jazz Chisholm, people kind of maybe want to take another look at who's playing third base. I don't blame them. But for the most part, these were the most stress-free voicemails that we've ever gotten. And last night was beautiful. And when the game was over and the podcast was over and the celebration was over, I started over. I went back and I watched the game. I went back and I watched the game from the beginning. I skipped through the commercials. I skipped through some of the Guardians at-bats. I went back to the beginning of the game and I watched all the best parts again. I could have watched highlights, and I watched a lot of highlights today, but I wanted to see entire at-bats. Rodon, he looked better than I remembered. When I was watching and I was anxious and I was worried because I've seen him melt down too many times, I think I was maybe tipping the scale, in my own mind on how he pitched, when it was really just my own, tense anxiety that was kind of leading to me to think he didn't pitch that great. So I'm upgrading his outing from so-so to solid. I must have watched the Juan Soto home run 30, 40 times. I didn't get to sleep until a little after 4 in the morning. I was just too amped up. I woke up at 9. First thing I did was watch the highlights from last night again. Second thing I did was order my World Series fitted hat from MLB Shop. And then the order said it would be in by Friday. So might have it for World Series night, although I hope I'm wearing the fun hat after the game. Third thing I did was make a massive cup of coffee because I needed it. Just been dragging all day, but at least in a good mood. I'll be interested to see who we play in the World Series. It's probably going to be the Dodgers. That would mean the Yankees would open up in Los Angeles. If it's the Mets, we'll open up at Yankee Stadium. But if it's the Dodgers, it's Shohei Ohtani versus Aaron Judge. That's what Major League Baseball wants. That's what they've been dreaming of all season. And I think of the two teams, I think the Yankees can beat the Dodgers a little bit more easily because they've only got one left-handed pitcher. Whereas, the Mets have a few. So, I guess I'm kind of rooting for the Dodgers now. I've kind of swung into that. I wanted the Subway Series, but now I'm thinking, man, I think we can beat the Dodgers, especially if it goes 7 games and they kind of beat up on each other's bullpens. And seeing what the Yankees did to an unbelievably good Guardians bullpen, best bullpen in baseball. You have to think that they'll have a decent shot to beat up on the Dodgers bullpen. Even though their pitching has been pretty good in the playoffs, especially if they go 7 games, man, because, these guys are going to be throwing high stress, high leverage pitches, and they're not going to have as long to rest as the Yankees will. There's been some rumors that Ohtani could pitch maybe in the World Series. I don't see that happening, but Yamamoto has been throwing the ball better this postseason. I want revenge on him for that night in the Bronx earlier this season. I want revenge. And for turning down $300 million. Saying no to the Yankees money? Beat them in the World Series. That'd be beautiful. And you got to wonder, if the Yankees knock off the Dodgers, would Roki Sasaki maybe prefer to come to New York rather than L.A.? But either way, should be a very good series no matter what. And I like the chances of the Yankees to win no matter who they play. I think they can beat both of these teams. I really do. There's a couple of guys that frighten me on the Dodgers. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani hitting in Yankee Stadium is terrifying, right? But I'm not so sure he's going to love the big moment and the hostile crowd. Has he ever had a really hostile crowd? I don't know that he has. I mean, Mets fans, I guess, can be kind of hostile, but not like Yankees fans. Anyway, we had a ton of support on the channel the last couple of days and on the podcast, so I wanted to thank everybody again. This has been a wild journey. It began as NYY Recaps, now Pinstripe Territory, but it is not over. We have 4 wins to go. And I'll be bummed that I don't get to go to any World Series games in person. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. But I'll definitely do my best to get to the parade. I might need some of you guys to help me get me a good spot. Selfishly, if the Yankees win the World Series, I'm hoping that they put some clips from this show in the World Series video. Probably won't, but maybe. But in case they don't, I've been working on a documentary with the help of Frankie Baseball. We're calling it Chase for 28. That, if the Yankees win, it's going to be epic, and it's going to be something that has a lot of rewatch value. So I look forward to that. Win or lose, highlights from every single game, great music. We're sacrificing it to the copyright overlords, but I don't even care. MLB can keep the money. I just wanted to create something that we can watch over and over again. Obviously, it'll be a little bit of a different flavor. If they lose the World Series, it'll be a sad ending. But if they win, it's going to be an all-timer, I'll tell you. So let's talk a little bit about the benefit of clinching last night. Yankees are going to get an extra couple of days to rest their pitching and their lineup. I mean, these guys have got to be wiped out, emotionally drained after a series like that. The one thing that bothers you is that it could disrupt the timing. The lineup has finally started clicking and being dangerous in the playoffs. We got a lot of guys hitting now. Stanton has been crushing the baseball. He is in a rhythm. If you're Giancarlo Stanton, you want to start the World Series tomorrow. Juan Soto homered in back-to-back nights. He had an unbelievable series. Probably would have won MVP of the series if Giancarlo didn't go supernova. Gerrit Cole lined up to start Game 1. You wonder if he's going to be a little too amped up, but we're going to see the best Gerrit Cole can do, because he knows he's only got 1 or 2 starts. His first start could be his last of the season, and it could be his last chance to win a World Series. We're going to see everything that Gerrit Cole has left in the tank. We might see Nestor Cortez come back and pitch with the elbow injury. Him pitching against Shohei in a big spot. I can imagine that. Got Clay Holmes and Luke Weaver getting some rest. I think Clay Holmes can still be effective, but I don't want him pitching in the 9th inning. Pitch him in the 7th as a setup guy. Rodon gives you 6. You got a 2 or 3 run lead. That's when you want some ground balls from Clay Holmes. Luke Weaver, obviously a tremendous end of the season. He had that one bad game, but he's been great. And I'm trying to get him on the show before the World Series. No promises, but we'll see. He was on Foul Territory, but we'll see if he has the time or the willingness to come on. So we're finding out who's clutch. I think it's fair to say that Gleyber Torres has been extremely clutch. Soto, obviously. I mean, just pay the man his money.
Pay that man his money.
We already knew that Giancarlo's clutch as hell, but he's become in another stratosphere of clutch now. He's up there with Reggie Jackson and Derek Jeter. And I can't even think. Carlos Beltran, maybe. Jim Leyritz. These are some of the more clutch names that we've ever seen in this last generation. Mickey Mantle. you hear his name next to Babe Ruth. That's no joke. Giancarlo is insane right now. Aaron Judge, he had a good series. He had a couple of big home runs. Still not going as good as we've seen him. I'll tell you what, we could use a nuclear Aaron Judge. We get nuclear Aaron Judge at the same time as, Soto swinging the bat okay. Even, like, he's swinging the bat great, but even if he just recedes to swing the bat average and Stanton stays hot, if you get all three of them hot, forget it. You win the World Series. But you get 2 out of the 3 hot and 1 just doing okay, I mean, you're probably going to win it all. Just got to get a little bit of pitching. I think we're going to see that Carlos Rodon continues to gain more and more control over his emotions as time goes on. He's becoming a better postseason pitcher. I know he didn't get the win last night, but I thought he pitched fine. Having watched it again, stuff was good. And aside from Game 3, Weaver has been nails. Tim Hill has been impressive. Canely has been really good. So let me know in the chat who you think is going to be World Series MVP if we can pull this off. And last but not least, talk a little bit about content this week. I don't have any specific stuff lined up. I know we're going to probably do a couple of World Series previews. I think Terrence is going to come on once, trying to get at least one big name, whether it's Weaver, whether it's Betances, whether it's, I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to try and get one big name on. And if the Dodgers end up in the World Series, as it looks like they will, we'll try and do a crossover with Dodgers territory. If the Mets come back and win that series, maybe we'll get Giraffe Neck Mark on. So the content is kind of up in the air, and it's kind of going to be determined by what happens in the next couple of games of that Mets-Dodgers series. So, we'll see. Let's get to your voicemails real quick. We got a bunch of them.
Hey, Derek. Do we want the Dodgers and the Mets to beat up on each other to give the Yankees a bit of a longer rest?
Well, it wouldn't change the rest that the Yankees get, but it will give them more rest than those teams. If the Dodgers win tonight, then the Yankees basically just got one more day of rest, and they were traveling, and they were hungover probably. But if those two teams play 2 more games, you're talking about the bullpen being used significantly more. So we'll see. I'm rooting for a 7-game NLCS for sure.
All right, Derek. That's it. I'm admitting it now. I was wrong. This team's got the balls to do it. There ain't no 2 ways about it. After these last 2 wins, oh, my God. I think my heart rate's 250 right now. Unbelievable game. Yeah, I forgot to mention. I just want to bring this up. Have you noticed how much better TBS's coverage got after they got rid of Costas?
Costas was bad.
Oh my God! It's that guy they replaced him with is excellent.
Frank
He's really one of the best I've ever heard.
Frank was one of the color guys. I don't know who was doing it.
I didn't mind listening to it at all once they got rid of Costas.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Hey, Derek, Amish here, longtime viewer, longtime subscriber, first-time caller, but I've been around for quite a while. Congratulations on all your success so far. Keep it going. Just wanted to say it was a great win yesterday. It was a great series, all series long. Great at-bats, great pitching. Somewhat shaky defense here and there, but got to clean that up for the next round. 4 more wins, baby. I was at game 1, and I actually made the TBS broadcast in the Bleachers Creatures right after Stanton hit the home run. So that was really cool. Last month I was at a game, and I ended up getting Soto's home run on 9/11, which was extremely special as well. Been to a lot of games this year, 16, 17 games so far. It's just been an absolute treat, and hopefully we get Soto again and continue this run for the next 10 years. Hope you have a great day. Go Yankees. Get number 28.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that so much. That's awesome that you caught Soto's home run on 9/11. That's wild. I caught one baseball ever. Actually, no, I take that back. Two. It was Rob Refsnyder in Baltimore. It was a batting practice home run ball that I caught. And then, what was the guy's name? There was some backup infielder from the 90s or early 2000s that threw me a ball. Oh, Jose Vizcaino. Threw me a ball at Shea one time.
Derek, Andrew here out of Florida. I've been with you since the beginning. You put on an absolutely fantastic show.
Thanks, my guy.
Also, please bring back the I will hardly agree. That's a great frickin' little sound bit you got there.
I hardly agree.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I felt like I kind of overused a lot of our sounds this year, so I kind of back off some of them every once in a while. And I'm trying to mix in some new ones, but I appreciate that.
Hey, Derek. This is Kyle from Winter Garden, Florida. Just calling in. Been a big fan of your channel since 2021.
Thank you.
If there was ever a night to be a first-time caller, long-time listener, tonight or this morning, I guess, being 12:16 a.m. here on the East Coast would be the day. But you only said it 3 times on the show, so I'm going to reiterate it. Pay that man his money. Go Yankees. Let's lock up the World Series. Fantastic night. Thank you for everything you do for the channel.
Yeah, Soto's price is getting astronomical. You wonder what Scott Boras was thinking watching him hit a pennant-winning home run. I mean, he's already put the down payment on another yacht. I guarantee it.
Hey, Derek. It's Bob from Ohio. Great show, great content. I think I've listened to everyone this year. Really happy we're in the World Series. Couple thoughts. Wonder if you think they'll give somebody a shot at third base like Birdie or Cabrera. And also hearing that Nestor's throwing batting practice, so he might get a chance. Those are a couple pluses, but awesome playoff run. Let's keep it going. Great content. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Appreciate it. It'd be interesting to see what happens at third base. Birdie obviously played a lot of first base, but he's a natural third baseman. He played first base for the first time ever in this playoffs. Cabrera came in and did great also at first base. You know, Rizzo's been swinging the bat better, so those guys have been displaced. But Jazz has been awful in the lineup. He's a good third baseman, though. You know, he's relatively new to the position. He's got an absolute cannon. That could help when you got speed with the Dodgers like, you know, Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani. You know, throwing those guys out at first on a close play. We'll see. You know, Birdie, he's a good contact guy. He's got a ton of speed himself. Cabrera, I still feel would be a big moment kind of player. But I ultimately think they will stick with Jazz.
Hey, Derek, this is Dave from Harrisburg, PA. Hey, man, I want to say let's go Yankees, man. What a way to fight in there tonight and get this game and go to the World Series. I just want to say real quick, I don't care what you got to do. Pay that man his money. I love when you play that. Pay that man his money, man. Juan Soto, I don't care what you got to do. World Series, win or not, we need to keep this guy on the team, man, because this guy is straight clutch. This guy is amazing, man. And he comes through for us tonight for the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
Give a shout out to Soto and to the whole team and to the city of New York. Let's go, Yanks.
Yeah, that's one underrated thing about Juan Soto is how clutch he has been all season long. You know, we talked about how bad the Yankees needed a deadly left-handed hitter after the last few years, especially to protect Judge. You know, he's protecting Judge in front of him by getting on base a little bit, and that you know, you don't want to walk two guys in a row, so it's a different type of protection. Ideally, you'd surround Judge with, you know, another big lefty. like a Matt Olson type, but I don't think that's going to happen. But how clutch Juan Soto has been huge. I mean, not only a left-handed hitter who's deadly, but probably the deadliest left-handed hitter other than Shohei Ohtani in Major League Baseball.
Hi there, Derek. This is Milton from Texas. A couple of points. First on Lewis Heel. I mean, he wasn't great, but he pitched very well. And one thing we can't overlook is that at least he's got some innings under his wing. He hadn't pitched for 19 days. Imagine if he had to wait to the World Series. That would be about a month, almost. But this was good for him, even though he wasn't great. But he kept them in the game. Obviously, they won. And I meant to call this this morning about it. But then the second point, and that gives him at least some good innings to work with. Now he's got some innings on his winning side. And as far as the most valuable player for the championship series, sometimes it's not the one that wins the game for you. A lot of times it's the one who sets up the game for you. So then this way you could win it. And Stanton was definitely the person that did it all series long in the championship.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Stanton, I think, deserved the MVP. Juan Soto deserved consideration, but Stanton got it done. All series long. I went back and watched all the highlights of his postseason so far. MLB posted a YouTube video about it. And, I mean, the guy's just gotten big hit after big hit going back to that Royal series. That big home run in Game 2 that gave the Yankees the lead. YouTube commenter says, Jazz continues to swing at pitches down and in, out of the zone. Then they strike him out high and away. He's undisciplined. I mean, you're not wrong. He's very susceptible to the changeup. What you can do is you can pound him in. You can move his eyes in. And then you can throw that changeup that fades away. And he'll chase it almost every time. And he'll try and pull it almost every time. The way for Jazz Chisholm to bust out of this is to think opposite field. Look for pitches that you can hit the other way. That'll cause you to take those inside pitches, and it'll allow you to stay in there a little bit longer. And then you get those pitches outside, and you drive them the other way. Yeah, that's how you have to hit your way out of a slump.
Yo, it's Brian. What's going on, brother? Man, what another great series. That was awesome. I just wanted to say, too, huge shout out to our guy, Cousins, who just came in and I think he had like 4 Ks. It was ridiculous. And that was probably a position nobody really thought he was going to be in, at least Booney. I don't think necessarily thought he was going to be there. Great gutsy win. Just awesome series. Can't wait. We need 4 more wins. Can't lay off the gas pedal once we find out who we're facing. Hope them bats stay hot. Man, that was just a great win. Excited for the channel. This is huge. The first World Series. Feel like I've been watching you the whole time. This is exciting stuff, man. Let's go.
It is exciting. Yeah, thanks for those kind words about watching the channel. We started back in 2019 when Garrett Cole signed, and my initial thought was, maybe I'll just do, recaps of the games the next morning, right? After the Yankees play, get up in the morning, do kind of a little morning show. I was working from home, and I had some time. I would be up for a few hours before I had to be on for my job at the time. And I thought, I could just record 10 or 15 minutes, talk about the game. And then COVID hit. And while COVID was out, I had to make a bunch more videos. I got better at it. And then when COVID came back, I thought, you know what? I can go live right after the game. There's no reason. And so I started doing that. And then, it's what it's become is now I'm live after every single game. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a lot of work. My wife says they hold me hostage. And, I don't get to go to the stadium as much as I'd like to. I went last year for Judge's 3 home run game, his second one. I would love to go to one of these World Series games, but hey, I'll just save the money. I'll watch it on TV. But maybe I'll hit up a spring training game or two next year. But I appreciate it. It is a lot of work, and I appreciate everybody who tunes in and keeps tuning in.
Hey, Derek. Long-time fan of the show. Before I start anything, I think every Yankee fan would agree Juan Soto deserves every single penny of whatever he's asking for, whether that's 600, 700, 800, I do not care
800.
how many millions he wants. He deserves it.
$1 billion.
He should be paid that. But the reason for the call is I want to give some appreciation to Anthony Rizzo. I'm someone that called into the show, I think twice, saying that Oswaldo should be the first baseman or Birdie, and that Rizzo shouldn't even be activated onto the roster. He proved me completely wrong today. Proved me completely wrong all series. I loved his AB today. I know that base is loaded. He didn't get the hit. I loved the AB. I loved the swing. He proved me wrong. Obviously, he made an error or two this series, but I think he's earned himself the starting first baseman. But yeah, I love your opinion. I say go Yanks. Let's go win that World Series, baby.
I was also of the opinion that Rizzo shouldn't be activated. So you are not alone in feeling like you got it wrong. But he's stung the ball. He's honestly looked better than he did at any point this season, and really any point since he had the concussion last year when Tatis ran into him. You know, we had the big opposite field single last night. He's not hitting for power anymore, and I don't think he is trying to. I think he's selling out to make contact. I think he's trying to barrel up baseballs and make contact right now. He's not trying to be a home run guy. And right now, honestly, a left-handed contact hitter is all we need. What's he hitting, about 350 in the postseason? Maybe even better? And yes, just every penny for Juan Soto. $800 million, whatever. It's not my money.
Derek, I'd rather have the Dodgers than the Mets in the World Series. Let me tell you why. For one, we already beat the Mets in the World Series before, so we don't need to beat them again. Second, if the Mets do make it to the World Series and we lose, that would be very embarrassing. Third, I'd rather have the big moments against the Dodgers. I'd rather have a big at-bat against Yamamoto or a big strikeout against Ohtani. I don't want to see Starlin Marte on the Mets hit a walk-off double on us. That wouldn't sit right with me versus us striking out Ohtani in a big moment. You know, having a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, I think, would be epic.
You've won me over. You've won me over. I think I want the Dodgers.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And also the matchup favors the Yankees a little bit when they play the Dodgers. I think they can beat either team, but I think victory is almost assured if they play the Dodgers.
Hey, it's a save situation. Derek, can you believe it? The Yankees are in the World Series. I mean, the beginning of the season, I thought it was a lock. During the business season, I thought it was an impossibility. But here we are. Hey, I appreciate all you do this year with your show. It's been great to listen to. Just a couple of key points. I mean, I think the big star of the year has been health. I mean, Judge has been healthy. Some other players have been healthy. Despite the lack of depth, they got a closer. We didn't think that was going to happen. And Weaver just came in unexpectedly. Big G. Oh, my God. I was ready to trade him for absolutely nothing or just release him, but...
You're not alone.
Wow, that would have been a huge mistake, right? Leadoff guy. Who would think that Gleyber Torres would wake up towards the end of the year and actually be a great leadoff hitter? Cole. Very hurt in the beginning, but came back healthy. And he's actually a good pitcher now, again. That great start, man. If it wasn't for that great start of the year, we wouldn't be where we're at today. And, wow, you really have to give kudos to Torres. I never thought he'd come back the way he did. And ultimately, in conclusion, man, it was great to hear John Sterling's calls again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. I hope they win this year. I mean, because I love the Yankees. But, man, it would be great to hear John Sterling say one more time, the Yankees.
Yep. The Yankees.
That's what they do.
Run the
bases like drunks.
No, I want to hear him say Yankees win, World Series over, ball game over, all that stuff. He's been great to listen to. I haven't been listening live, but it's great to go back and listen. It's too much of a pain in the ass for me to sync everything up. Something happens and it gets out of sync if I try and sync it with the radio or with the MLB app or whatever. So I've just been watching the normal broadcasters, and as Robert said, it's been better without Bob Costas. Bob Costas, super boring this year. He's lost his fastball for sure. But yes, it's great having Sterling back. There's a great Twitter account called John Sterling Calls, where they put all the different great John Sterling calls on from this postseason. It's great.
Hey, Derek, it's Gabriel. I know I called in a couple times during the season. It felt so good to see us actually go to the World Series. I can't wait to see how we perform. I can't wait to see how we do. I cried a little bit. I was 9 years old the last time they won the World Series, and I didn't understand baseball. Now I do. I hope he's as excited as I am. If we play the Dodgers, what's your prediction? And if we play the Mets, what's your prediction for how the series goes?
Ooh, it's hard to say. I mean, the next two games would affect my prediction. I think we can beat both teams. I really do. If that series goes 7, I think the Yankees will make quick work of either one of them. 5, 6 games. More than likely 5. If the Dodgers finish it off tonight, I think we're going to have a 7-game World Series. I really do. And it's going to be an all-timer. And we'll be here after every single game.
Hey, Derek, Tabor Talk from the Catskills. We're going to the World Series.
We're going to the ship.
Right. I am so pumped. It's been a long time. So I think it's kind of interesting that all year, I watch every inning of every game. The 4 guys that the fans went after the hardest: Gleyber Torres, Clay Holmes, Giancarlo Stanton, and especially Aaron Boone. And what happened? Aaron Boone was masterful.
They're great.
Stanton was the MVP. Gleyber had an incredible series.
On fire.
And even Clay Holmes was pretty much money, except for the
last times
game.
he pitched.
He wasn't so good. But overall, isn't that funny? Okay, let's go Yankees.
Holmes didn't really have a good ALCS. Holmes was bad in the ALCS, but he had a good division series. He helped him get to the ALCS. I'm interested to see what he'll do in the World Series. I want to see that stuff come back that he had in the division series, because everything flattened out in the ALCS. Gleyber Torres, I think, has made a strong case to come back. His defense has even been better. Have you guys noticed that? Since he started hitting, he stopped taking his offensive struggles out to the field. Now, I will say this. He still scares the absolute piss out of me on the bases. He's got one of the lowest baseball IQs I've ever seen. But he's always on base. He's getting lots of hits. He's leading off every game with a base hit lately, it seems. So, I mean, he's doing the job. And Aaron Boone has pushed all the right buttons. So let me know in the chat who you guys want to hear from this week. We'll try and get some of our regulars back on, as we have now 5 days until the World Series begins. Actually 4 nights, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're probably going to have Terrence on Tuesday. We might do another voicemail show if you guys keep calling in. We'll enjoy the last 2 games of the NLCS, and we'll find out soon who it will be. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.